And so let's take a few breaths. Exhale first. And take a deep breath in. And let it go. Another deep breath. And let it go. And one more deep breath in together, breathing in and letting it go. And so I say good morning, my friends. If you don't know me, my name is Reverend Elisha Christopher. I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Center for Spiritual Living here in Santa Cruz. I do use they and them pronouns, and my ancestors come from all over the world, some indigenous to this land that we call America, but before that. And the ancestors that we know immigrated to this country, we know came here from Ireland, Scotland, Austria, and Holland. And so we begin. This month, our theme we've been rolling around in is called Rolling in the Deep. I work with a spiritual practitioner once a month, and I highly recommend that you all do as well. We have practitioners here. If you're a practitioner, raise your hand, just so you know who some of those people are. They're available to you for prayer and for spiritual guidance. I work with a practitioner once a month, and in my session last week, she said, rolling in the deep, I just keep getting this image of pigs in the mud. And, I kind of love that. Because at first it's kind of like, ooh, I don't want to roll around in the mud. But maybe I do. But for the pigs, it's a wonderful thing, right? It's nourishing. It cools them off. It's a way of bathing and getting clean, even though it looks like they're getting dirty. And, this theme of rolling in the deep has been quite timely, I think, because then I think in a big way it does feel like as a nation, as a community, as many of us feel like we're kind of rolling in it right now. A lot of what's happening in our nation and in our world is not easy to hold. It feels really icky. It feels like it's all over us and we can't get it off of us. And no matter what we do, it's not going to go away. It feels like that, doesn't it? And it seems to me more and more and more like the ick and the muck and the mud is coming up more and more and more. And it's getting all over everything. One of the things I know is that lotuses grow in really mucky, muddy water. Right, many of us have probably heard the Buddhist chant, Om Mani Padme Om, right, which means may the jewel grow. May the jewel grow from the lotus, and that lotus grows from the deepest, muckiest of waters. And this symbol of beauty and enlightenment rises from the muck, which is a beautiful image. Because it tells us that it's all the muck and the mire, it's all the ick, it's all the stuff that we don't want all over us that is actually the fertile nutrients that causes the awakening, that causes the beautiful thing to rise up, that gives it everything that it needs to rise to the surface and blossom. And I truly believe, and if you've heard me speak before, I say this often, I truly believe that everything that happens to us happens what? For us. And that everything that is happening in our world right now is happening for us in that the conditions are perfectly ripe that are awakening up something from within each one of us that has been sitting and waiting for a very long time. And it's our desire for freedom. It's our desire for love. It's our desire to see compassion as the law of the land. Right? That is being awakened from us because we are seeing the complete opposite of that happening in the world. And we've talked about this before. Every time we get in a situation where we experience exactly what we don't want, it gets us incredibly clear about what it is that we do want. Right? And so remember that everything that's happening in our nation, all the things that are coming down upon us, all of the fear that is rising up, all of it is here to wake us up. All of it is here to remind us very clearly of what it is we believe our values are as a nation and the nation that we want to see and the kind of people that we want to be. The contrast is getting us absolute clarity. And in that contrast, I think one of the things that is clear is that love and compassion are what is needed and what is missing from the scene. And many of us were out in various forms on Thursday, celebrating some good trouble and getting ourselves out in the streets and speaking for this vision that we are calling in. And at the same time, I saw a lot of signs about compassion, about love, but there's a whole lot of anger out there. There's a whole lot of hatred at those who are hating, at those who are causing all of the fear. And that's very real. It's a very valid thing to feel. And at the same time, we have got to learn to rise above the hatred, the division, and the fear. Because the thing we know is that love is our weapon. It is the one thing that we have that can overcome all of this hate. Because when we hate the people who are hating, when we hate the people who are creating the fear and the division, what do we do but create more hate in the world? And you can't create peace with more war. You can't fight hate with hate. You can only fight hate with love. You can only fight the inhumanity with compassion, which is a huge practice, my friends. Because the spell that is being cast upon us, all of us right now, is to plant those seeds of fear and hatred and division in our hearts. And when that seed of hatred is handed to you, what do you do with it? Do you cultivate it and let it grow and hate those difficult people and hate the activity and hate what they're doing? Or do we not accept it? Do I say there is no fertile soil for this seed of hate to grow in my heart? What if we are the ones who are being called to run about into the world and spread the seeds of love? And remember that wherever those seeds of love are planted, they will find fertile soil. And that it's our job to not only spread them, but our job to water them, our job to cultivate them, our job to do what we can to support those seeds of love growing. And I'm grateful for all the songs that have reminded us how much love there is here this morning. I've been contemplating this idea this week about what does it look like for us to really cultivate a culture of love in our own hearts and in our communities. And this image came to my mind, which I've seen many times, but it comes, I believe, from West Africa, and I believe specifically from Yoruba. And there is a culture in certain villages where each person, when they are born, is given a song. This is your song. And all of your family and all of your neighbors and everyone knows your song. And it's a song that is sung that brings you back to yourself. It's a song that reminds you of who you are. It's a song that tells you of your true nature. And in these communities, anytime someone commits a crime or a violation against another person, they are brought into the center of the village and surrounded by the entire community, and the entire community begins to sing that person's song and sing them back to themselves. And sometimes this can go on for days until the song gets in. Do you feel the power of that? So I've been thinking this week about what does it mean for us to find our song. Each one of us individually, what is that song? What is the thing that brings you back to yourself, back to your truth, back to your love, back to your oneness? We talked about this last week, about engaging in your spiritual practices and your grounding practices to maintain that center. But what if we could find a practice? What if we could find a way to reach out in consciousness to those that we see who are doing harm, and through our prayers, through our hearts, sing their song to them through the ethers? Because the thing that I know is that we are all connected, that on some level there is only one of us here, that on some level consciousness is a field in which we are all participating in, and it's sort of gathered in little clumps that look like each one of us, but really it's a seamless field of oneness. And so when we contemplate being connected to another person, connection happens. There's been a number of experiments that have been replicated multiple times about the non-locality of consciousness and the way that we're able to connect with each other. And the way that this has been done in a number of universities, it was originally first done at Mexico City University, and then it's been replicated a number of times, where you have two people sitting together thinking about being connected, just thinking about being connected to each other. Then in the experiments, they take them into two separate rooms, usually magnetically impervious chambers with copper walls and all the things, and put brain scans on both people and shine light flashes into one of the person's eyes and scan the brains of both people. What tends to happen, more often than not, is both brains respond to the light stimulus. And you can see it, these little spikes of activity. So what we've learned is that when we focus on being connected to another person, some sort of connection emerges. And that whatever is being thought, whatever is being felt, whatever is being experienced in one transfers, and on some level, even subconsciously or very subtly, is being felt, is being experienced, is being seen by the other. So what if we as a community decided that in our prayers we were going to sit with love and contemplate being connected to Donald Trump, just as an invitation to a spiritual practice? What if suddenly there was the 50 of us, or maybe 200, or maybe 5,000 people sending waves of love to this one person, overwhelming them in consciousness with waves of love? If we could contemplate being connected and then sit in the heart of love, what might happen? If we are no longer cultivating hate, if we are no longer cultivating the finger pointing and starting to sit in a place where we are just broadcasting love and then contemplating where that love needs to land, because we talked last week about the fact that love is this force in the universe that has no opposite, just like heat. Remember, there's no force in the universe that creates cold. There's only the absence of heat. There's no force in the universe that creates evil. There's only the absence of love. So anywhere that appears to be frozen, anywhere that the ice is forming, we need to melt it with love. So if we can contemplate this consciousness of love, find that heart center within ourselves, and then begin to send it out. Imagining that we as a village of the United States of America are gathering around those who are causing harm in this nation and singing them their song through our prayers. What if that is the task? What if that is what is being called from us? It's for each one of us to awaken to a higher state of love, to awaken to a higher state of oneness, to awaken to a higher state of compassion, and then pour that compassion into this field of consciousness in which we share. And I believe that there is a critical mass of individuals rising up in this country who are saying we want to live in a compassionate world. We want to hold each other. We want to celebrate our diversity. We want to take care of each other. And as that consciousness rises up, we get to multiply it. We get to disperse it. We get to bring it out into the world. And so what if this is our high calling? What if this is our, we've talked many times about we engage in spiritual practice because the universe gives us exams. We sit in meditation, we pray, we chant, we contemplate love as a practice, and then the tests, the exams are given to us. They're the difficult moments, they're the ugliness in the world, it's the pain and the hatred and the division, it's all the stuff that we see that comes our way, and the universe says, okay, if you believe in love and compassion, here's an opportunity to prove it. And how are we doing with the exam, folks? I know I need to do a little more practice. I keep practicing. Part of the practice is you practice. You fall over, you get back on, you practice some more. Right? We have a reaction, something happens. We see, I could name 1,000 things that have happened in the last 2 weeks that have made me go, breathe. Come back. Because the thing that if we're going to point to a they out there, the thing that they want us to do is lose our center. The thing that they want us to do is forget our power. The thing that they want us to do is get all wrapped up in their hatred and separation and division. What if we're not willing to do that? What if I'm not willing to let those seeds grow in my heart and my mind? What if I am one who is here to cultivate the love and the consciousness of oneness and to practice it and believe it? And every time something comes my way where I go, how is this God? I have to sit and wait and listen. And then ask the question again. I'm a big fan of unanswerable questions. My unanswerable question I ask a lot is, how is this God? If God is all there is, if it's all oneness, if it's all love, how is this that? And I tell you, I ask this question a lot. Rarely do I get an answer. But it's the asking of the question that changes my consciousness. The more we ask the question, the more it primes our mind to look for the answer. And whatever your unanswerable question is, I invite you to ask it to the universe often. How do we reach a world that works for everyone? How do we build a nation of love and compassion? How do we take care of each other in whole new ways? What is it that's being awakened from me by the conditions that are unfolding around me? Find your question. And your question becomes your practice becomes your preparation, and your preparation prepares you for what is coming your way. So the invitation, as always, is to open our hearts. Is to find a way to walk through these difficult moments with a wide open heart and to not shut it down and to not close it off. Because I can see a reason every time I look at my social media, every time I turn on the news, every time I read the reports, I can find lots of reasons to close my heart down. I can find lots of reasons to be afraid. I can find lots of reasons to let all that stuff creep in. Which means I need lots and lots of reasons to open my heart. I need lots and lots of reasons to remember the love. Which is part of why we gather in spaces like this. Is to be reminded of what it feels like when we're in cohesion with each other, when we're in song and prayer and meditation, when we're sharing a focus, when we are in the stir and in the energy together, we feel something, and that something is the love, that something is the connection, that something is the greater truth that's wanting to emerge here. And so we do it together each week here in this place. It's happening on the streets more and more. It happens in each and every interaction. And it also happens in our own hearts and in our own minds as we process all that's coming our way. And I remind us that oftentimes on an uphill climb, we get really tired and really exhausted and may even think about turning back or giving up, oftentimes just before we reach the top. And so just remember that no matter how exhausted we may feel, no matter how much energy we feel like we keep putting into being in this fight for love, maybe we're a lot closer to the realization than we think. Maybe all of the disturbance and the discord and the breakdown and all of the ick that's rising up. Maybe it's rising up because we're that close to the healing point, and we could never have healed this if we hadn't let it come up to be dealt with. There's a whole lot of stuff that feels like it's about to be revealed. Certain lists are trying to find their way into our consciousness because there is stuff that is no longer allowed to be hidden. There are things that are happening that we are no longer tolerating, and we are saying, not anymore. And perhaps some of this disgusting, disturbing activity might be the thing that unites us. Who knows? Maybe there are issues beyond our politics that crack our hearts open so much we say no more. And it brings us together. So let's know that something is unfolding right here and right now, in this moment, in each one of our hearts, in this place, in our communities, and in our nation. Something is unfolding that is leading towards our awakening, that is leading towards this compassionate way of being. And it's being called forth from each one of us, and we have got to bring it forward. It's not someone else's work, it's ours. Each one of us doing the heart work. Because the heart work is the hard work. It's real easy to go down the drain. It's hard work to do the heart work. And that's what we're here to do. So let's take a moment to drop in a little bit deeper together. If it's comfortable for you, I want to invite you to close your eyes and place a hand on your heart center. And take a deep breath in. And take a moment and just feel your heart beat. Feel the warmth that emerges from that very heart center of your being. As I've said before, we know that the magnetic field of each one of our hearts goes out something from our bodies like 20 feet in every direction. And when we contemplate love, when we focus on that heart, that field is magnified and multiplied. The volume gets turned up a little bit. So as each one of us sits here, hand on heart, eyes gently closed, breathing deeply, we are coming into a state of coherence. We are emerging into a state of connection. And as we do this, I remind each one of us that what I know is that there is one seamless presence, one power, one life force, one love force, one infinite being, one field of energy, one sea of infinite possibility. I call it God, but that's just a word. What I know is that there is an absolute field of oneness. There is a something more that connects us all. And what I know is that it is that life force, that love force, that one being that is beating each and every heart. I often say we are being breathed by God itself. We are being lived by the universe. So in this moment, let us remember who we are, that we are love, that we are light, that we are emissaries of truth, that we are the activity of peace on earth. And so let's let this field of love grow as it permeates this room and this building. Let's imagine that this love light shines out beyond this place and into our community of Santa Cruz. Let's imagine that this reaches all the way across the nation, across the oceans, that this love begins to wrap itself around the world, and that from right here, each beat of our heart, a pulse of love and light moves out from this place and begins to affect and move and land in the hearts of each and every person as this wave of love moves itself around the world. And so let each one of us remember that we are the emissaries of this love light, that it is our practice, that it is our intention, that it is our purpose, that it is our activity and our choices that activate this love. So let us walk through this world with hearts wide open, allowing the seeds of love and compassion to continue to grow. Let us water them with our awareness so that we can share the fruits of this love everywhere we go. Let us know that there is truly only love. There is only love. And yes, there are places and hearts and minds where there is the appearance of the absence of love. So let us know that it is our task, it is our calling in this moment to pour love into those cold, frozen places. Because our love can warm up any frozen spot. And so let us breathe together. Let our hearts beat together. Let us be moved to walk in the world in a new way, bringing our love and our compassion everywhere we go. And so I speak a word of gratitude for this beloved community, for who we are becoming, for each person in this room who's hearing these words or even watching them at a later time or watching them online. But every single one of us who are being affected by this prayer, let us know that we are connected. Let us be grateful for the ability to come together and cultivate this kind of love. Let us be in celebration of the knowing that this love is more powerful than anything other than that. That love is more powerful than hate, that love is more powerful than fear, that love is more powerful than greed, that love is the greatest power in the universe, that love, like gravity, draws all things towards the center. And when we cultivate love, we cultivate a gravity that draws in anyone and everything who wants to feel that love. And even those who are crying out and causing harm, I guarantee you they are crying out for love in the only way that they know how. So let us meet them with love. Let us rise above and open to something greater. Because what I know is that there is a power for good in this universe that is greater than we are. There is a power for love. And it is ready. It is available right now. And so we open to it. We act as it. We speak from it. We listen with the ears of love. See with the eyes of love. Speak with the mouth of love. Walk and be with the hands and feet of love. This is our task. This is our invitation. This is our prayer. This is our practice. And so let us surrender to that which is breathing us, to that which is beating our hearts. Let's get out of the way and let the love come through. Love that heals. Love that sets us free. There is only love. And so it is.